What is going on, guys? Dan Fitz, the Street Preacher. I've been absent for some time, not been on video for some time. A personal standard of mine is to make one video every day. Now, whether it goes online, whether it's in a private or paid community, whether it's even good, it's important to me to speak. Because I'm a preacher, a speaker, this is what I get paid to do, this is how I change lives, this is how I've created a career, a business. It would be like you not going to work because you don't feel like going, whether you get paid or not. Now, the reason why I share this with you and the lesson behind today's sermon is, where have I been? What have I been doing? Why haven't I simply got out this phone and said, "Hi, I'm Dan"? I mean, I could tick the box doing that. "Hi, I'm Dan. This is a video." Put the phone down. Not the best video in the world, really not anything to learn. You see what I'm saying? It comes down to two things, fear and comfort. Now, when we set out to do something different, something new, something challenging, more often than not we won't do it because there's no real consequence. Nothing really changes. In fact, we're more comfortable if we don't do the damn thing. I can give you multiple examples on this. Let's say you have a job, a 9 to 5, and you hate it. And you want to start a business, your dream business. But if you ever started a business, or even thought about it, it's incredibly scary, challenging. In fact, there's a quote that I like. Being an entrepreneur is like chewing glass and staring into the dark abyss of death. And honestly, at times that's what it's like. You could be in a relationship that needs some work, and you can face the challenge of doing that work. You can face the fear of doing that work because more often than not, the work needs to be on you. You're half of that relationship, or you can leave. And one we can all relate to is going to the gym or some kind of physical exercise. Before I became passionate about fitness, training, that kind of thing, the amount of times I would have a class, a training session, something that I needed to go to after work, and I would tell myself, you don't need to go. It's not worth going to. What's the difference? No one will know. But the people that I did have to tell, whether it be my coach, my trainer, my friends, the reason why I wasn't showing up, I had to create some bullshit, whether it was true or not. 9 times out of 10, facing fear versus staying in comfort will give you what you want. And if it doesn't give you what you want, you'll still feel better. You'll still learn something. You'll still be in a better position should you stay in comfort. But you never know this, you never learn this until time keeps on ticking into the future. I don't know what that song is, but it's a good song. And then you get that letter. A telephone bill is due tomorrow. The important assignment is due tomorrow. Your partner says to you, "Stop drinking or I'm going to leave tomorrow." And all of a sudden you have to. You have to find the money, you have to find the will, you have to find the energy, you have to put up or shut up. And many of us have been in that situation. Now, you may have lost a wife, you may have lost a business, you may have lost an opportunity that won't come back. And that haunts you, that regret weighs on you. I know that because I've been there too. And I got to a point in my life where I said, I don't want to live like this anymore. It's a conscious choice where you look at the two decisions, like, do I get up at 6 a.m. or do I get up when I want to? Do I make the video or do I watch television? Do I write the assignment or do I just say, fuck it, I'm okay with failing? Before you find yourself at that fucking waterfall of catastrophe where there's no choice but to go over the edge and just accept whatever happens. Look at the thing that is keeping you up at night. Look at the thing that is constantly on your mind. Look at the thing that is making you behave erratically. Have a short temper. Be confused. Be stressed. And look at these two things and what happens if I do this? And what happens if I do this? Or don't do it? And which one are you okay living with? What happens if I don't show up to work at all this week? I don't call my boss, I just don't show up. Well, we all know what'll happen. You probably get fired. Now, if you fucking hate your job and you got enough money to live for a few months, I mean, you could and would probably do that. If you're in a relationship where your partner's beating the shit out of you and you hate it and there's no real reason that you have to be there. And if you look at that, like, what happens if I stay in this relationship? What happens if I leave? Which one can you live with? And here's something that's purely ego-based, purely as a man that may humble you. You purchased a car. You can't afford it. And what do? Do you sell the car so you're back in the green financially? Or do you somehow get further and further in debt? Or just keep buying time? As long as people see you with that car, your ego or your pride or you being the man is intact. Which one can you live with? Now honestly, if that is you, I would suggest just selling the car. The time can't be bought back. The money can be made. The relationship can be fixed. The opportunities, more often than not, don't come back. If you've ever started a business, you fail and you fail and you fail until you find some kind of success. I mean, even at an average level, have you ever applied for a job, maybe the one you have now, and more often than not, you have to apply for 10 positions in the same fucking job until you get one. I heard a very good quote today. Being a hero or being heroic is simply just deciding to continue one more day. I had a very challenging 6 months myself, the last 6 months or so, but I can say it's fate, I can say it's unfair, I can say it's life, but I can also say a large part of it was due to me. And I didn't look at those two decisions. I didn't look, should I do this and get out of comfort and face fear? And then get in a better position in the future? Or should I go over that waterfall, catastrophe, and then face whatever happens down there? Because this is each and every single one of us. Not every day. But when the bills come, the wife gets fucking tired of you, your gut starts to come out to here, all of a sudden you need to do something and you need to do it now. But the fucking thing is, you could have done it 6 months ago. What is happening in your life right now, both good and bad, it's not what's happened this week that made it that way. It's what you did 6 months ago that led to where you are now. What did you do 6 months ago? What were you thinking you wanted 6 months ago? Were you looking at a piece of paper saying, should I do this or this? Stay in comfort or face fear? What are my challenges? What are my goals? Who do I need to be so I don't find myself on that fucking waterfall of catastrophe? Did you do that? Probably not. I didn't used to do it. Until I found things in my life that were so important, that I was so passionate about, that there was no other alternative but to get that. But just like you, I had to look at that fucking piece of paper and say, Dan, like, if you don't do this, it's gone. Dan, if you don't do this, you're going to miss out on this. Dan, if you don't do this, like, X, Y, and Z fucking shitty thing that you don't want. Or if you do this, this is what happens. Happy ending. The exact thing that you wanted. No guarantees, but it beats the alternative. And it's simple as that, my guys. Like, did you do what you said you're going to do today? Yes or no? Did you do what you said you're going to do this week? Yes or no? Do you even know what it is you fucking need to do? One, to not be where you are in regards to all the things that you don't fucking want. And two, more importantly, be where it is that you want to be. What are the things that you need to do every day, every week, every month? And there's no other alternative but to get what you want. Not easy, not fun, not sexy, not glamorous, but neither is fucking failure. And unfortunately to say, I mean, the street preacher tells the truth. Generally where you are now is not glamorous, sexy, fun. That's why we drink on the weekend. That's why we watch television. That's why when someone asks us how we are, we simply say good. When we're anything but that. I don't tell people how to live. I don't have all the answers, but I have lived a very full life. And more often than not, the money that I've invested in coaches, the time that I've spent learning, the mistakes that I've made in business and in life, I wouldn't recommend not investing in yourself, not growing, not improving yourself, not at all. I would highly suggest that, but the fucking pain, the unnecessary suffering that I had to fucking go through because I was on that river of life and there was a fork and I could have decided to go that way or that way. And if you don't decide, if you don't consciously make an effort, guess where you go? So while you have the opportunity to decide, I suggest you use it. Otherwise, every single day, every single month, every single year, you will face unnecessary suffering. You get punched in the face, boom, it might hurt a day or two or three. I mean, some people have been killed from getting hit once. But more often than not, you won't die. You are married for 20 years, you have 2 kids. She leaves you all of a sudden, for whatever reason. That's something that haunts you the fucking rest of your days. That's something that separates you from your children. This is serious shit, this is your life. So why don't we take it seriously? Why don't you know these questions? Why don't you even know what it is that you're meant to do today, last week, last month? But you know what you weren't meant to do? Eat McDonald's. Drink 12 beers over the weekend. Spend money that you weren't supposed to spend. You know the things that you weren't meant to do, and you still did those fucking things. Because you don't have the fucking balls to look at that fucking piece of paper. It's scary, I know. What happens if I do this? What happens if I don't do this? I mean, looking at that truth is fucking scary. But ignoring it should scare the fuck out of you even more. Which one do you want to choose? It's a choice. Your life is a collection of your choices. Your choices have led you to where you are now. How's that working out for you? Want a different life? Make different choices. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you how to live, but I can tell you how to make better choices. I can tell you and show you how to do what you said you're going to fucking do. And I can save you years and time and pain by learning what I've taught year after year to man after man. But just like a younger version of me, just like most men, you'll never sign on the dotted line, you'll never pay $1, and regardless of both those things, you'll never do the fucking work because it's work. until one, it's either too late and the pain is that bad, like it's this or nothing, or you consciously decide, I don't want to live like this anymore. I mean, both really don't sound too pleasant when you think about it that way. But that's the delusion, the illusion of comfort. You have the couch, the television, beers in the fridge, a couple of hundred in the bank. Yeah, it's not so bad. Until boom, she leaves, boss fires you, best friend steals from you, heart attack. Seems to be a little more common these days, strangely. And unless you're incredibly tough or incredibly gifted, most people quit. That's why mental illness is the biggest killer in Australia. That's why suicide is the biggest killer in Australia, especially in men. Not because we're weak, and not because we're lazy, not because we're stupid, but shit just gets that bad. It's like this to the brain, boom, seems like the better choice. There's an infinite number of choices. And quitting is not the best one, it never is. But it's a permanent decision to a temporary problem. Always remember that, no matter how fucking bad it gets, that is a permanent decision to a temporary problem. I promise you that. So that's my sermon for today. I want you to get out a piece of paper after this. Write down what is it that you want, or what is it that you need to do. What is it that you're afraid of? What happens if you do it? What happens if you don't do it? The outcomes. Let's say that you have a drinking problem and your wife says, if you don't stop drinking, I'm going to leave you. Okay, she leaves you. Or you stop drinking and you have a great relationship. Like, which one do you want to live with? It's up to you. It's your choice. It always has been, it always will be. So I'll leave that with you. Dan Fitz, Street Preacher. Godspeed, God bless.